Yeah, let's get straight into it. So, welcome, brothers, to today's live stream. I've got a special guest here today, MacDaniel Conto. I hope I said your name right. The executive coach at Advanced Social Systems. And I really wanted to get this guy on. We've spoken actually privately before, but this guy has a very unique next level view on game that you don't really see many people specializing in. People touch on it, but this guy seems like he's got it figured out. So I'm very excited. His game will realize my dreams. So that's a big statement. But yeah, so I'm excited for this. So yeah, just to start with, tell the brothers about yourself, your journey into game, and your specialism.
So interestingly enough, I got into game at the age of 16. I was desperate. I was really desperate, and I had just got out of jail. So interestingly enough, let me put this on Do Not Disturb so that way it doesn't jack us up. Notifications, Do Not Disturb is on. Perfect. So I just got out of jail, and I went to jail for house robbery, and essentially everything I had done up until that point was to be cool and to get girls, and everything I had tried didn't work. I tried stuff I had seen in movies. I wrote fucking love notes. I fell in love with the whole Disney Channel fantasy idea that if I do these things, that I'm going to get the women that I'm after. And then, surely enough, I come to find out that none of those things work. I joined the football team. I became a wrestler. Started lifting weights. I did everything, and nothing worked to get girls. I was there's some fundamental fucking disconnect here. I need to figure this out. The last thing I did was end up robbing some house. I got caught. What I had stole was into the amount of close about 10 grand. And I was supposed to do 8 years. Lucky enough, I happened to have a really amazing lawyer and a praying mom. So I instead ended up doing 3 months, had my records expunged and sealed, which thankfully didn't really affect me after I got out. So when I got out, I just knew that I had to get this area of my life handled. And so I go to the local bookstore. I'm looking for a how-to book on how to be good with girls. And I see dating for dummies, relationship for dummies. I pass the self-help section, get into the psychology section. All of a sudden, I happen to see a little black book, gold lettering, and it says The Game. And I'm like, The Game? Piques my interest. Happen to pick it up. It says Penetrating the Secret Society of Pickup Artists. Turn the first cover, and it happens to say the following story is true. All these characters, whether fictitious or real, these things did happen. Don't hate the player, hate the game. Next page, and it's meet mystery. And then I read about it. I'm like, oh my God, this is just mind-blowing. Meet Style. And I can relate to everything that Style is going through because I'm like, wait, that's me. I'm the AFC. I need to figure this out. I read the first 5 chapters while sitting inside of the bookstore. I don't know what else to do. I know I have to have this book, but I can't have I don't have the money to afford it. So I steal the book, run home as fast as my little legs can carry me, slam my door, finish the book the same fucking night, go to school the next day, look for my wingman. And that is where my journey started. I ended up looking for mentor after mentor because my dad had left us as a kid. So he wasn't really around. So I had really no father figure, no role models. And my mentors became kind of like my father figures. And I struggled for the next 10 years to actually get results. And funny enough, I had to start teaching from the very beginning because there was no community like we have now. There was no Facebook groups. There was no Telegram groups. There was no WhatsApp chats. There was no Discord forums, nothing. No app, nothing even remotely to help me to identify or to find people to be in this community. So I had to train all of my own wings from scratch. And funny enough, all of them got results before me. Became a coach at the age of 22 after my 21st birthday, realizing that I hadn't achieved the goal that I wanted, which was I will sacrifice whatever I have to do with love and happiness until I actually achieve this goal, being able to conquer and get any girl that I want, anytime, anywhere, any place. Fast forward to 22, I'm a professional coach now. I'm working for some of the major companies, and I'm still not getting results. I'm asking them, why am I not getting these 10s that I got into game for? And they're telling me a bunch of crap like you need to be calibrated in you're not calibrated, or be calibrated. You need to be grounded in your essence, and it's the hurricane method. And I was pissed. So finally, I happen to run into this dude. I go to the Roosevelt one night, see this stunning girl, walk up to her. She's with a guy. I start trying to aim mark the guy. The guy happens to call me out. He goes, "You're a fucking pickup artist." I say, "I'm not one of those faggots. I'm not one of those people." He goes, "Yeah, you are. I can tell you're a pickup artist." I keep lying about it for another 20 minutes. Finally, I just go, "You know what, man? Fuck it. I'm desperate. How the hell did you get a girl like that?" And he happens to give me the best bit of advice I could ever get. He goes, "You know what? Get a tailor, get physically in shape, stop listening to pickup artists and start listening to guys who get laid." He goes, "Make female friends and start working on your lifestyle because hot girls don't fuck guys who look like you." Ouch. But at that point, I went from had been with about 20 girls to 30 girls at that point. So within another 6 months, 130 new girls from just that advice, following the right advice from the right person who had the results that I was after. They didn't give me a crock of shit. They didn't tell me it was about funny routines and magic tricks. It's about systems. And if I can implement those systems, I can get exactly what I want every single time, because they work together and create the Pareto's principle of 80-20, which is you get tremendous upside following very consistent, specific things that give you exactly what you want. And that's where I got to where I am today, where I've been fortunate enough to train some other instructors who work for other companies. I've been around the community for a very long time, got to meet all the big guys and the legends in the community. And I'm a very blessed position to be in. So that's my story.
Amazing. Say that again. So his advice was get tailored, start lifting, fix your lifestyle.
Get a tailor. Like, actually go get a tailor to get clothing that's tailored to your build. He's like, get physically in shape. Then he tells me, stop listening to guys who aren't getting laid. Like, don't listen to pickup artists, listen to guys who get laid. And then he was like, go make female friends. And it was work on my lifestyle. And I did all of those things. 6 months later, like, and it was the to get my lifestyle together was become a promoter, because the promoter aspect would give me the lifestyle, which essentially he was teaching me the aspects of social circle game. So then I started to go, okay, who did this guy learn from? And then from who did he learn from? Who did that guy learn from? And then who did that guy learn from? And then I went to the top, and then I found who like all those guys had learned from. So then I had like 5 mentors that I started to seek out that all worked, that learned from that same guy. So that way I had 5 mentors teaching me the exact same thing over the next couple of years. And my game just got better and better and better. And it got to the point where I was like, okay, I'm getting results. I need to understand why this works. So then I reverse engineered the science behind why the results I was getting. So then I could understand it from like the results perspective, the experience with the science.
Wow. So basically looks and lifestyle.
Well, yeah, it's it's interesting. Like, I have found that, like, from a looks perspective, looks really don't do that much. Here's what I mean by that. From a 1 to an 8, it works. They work. You will have a difference. Here's the problem though. If you go into a room and the room's all full of good looking guys, it doesn't matter anymore. Now the world becomes flat. And in the worlds that I live in, all the guys are 6'2" and good looking and Chad. All of them are. All my guy friends are male models. They didn't get more. You don't get more Chad than that. You don't get more Chad than a male model. Why? They're paid to be good looking. So in that world, it's more about status and who you know and access and being seen in irrefutable signs of status and familiarity, because it's a heuristics perspective where you are reverse engineering all of the things that trigger compliance. And that's really what it kind of comes down to, according to all the research that I've looked at. I was like, you know what? Why does the beauty bias and looks matter? And it's really just because, truthfully, it's a sign of good genes. If you're good looking, all it says is that you got optimized testosterone, you got a healthy immune system. You're not going to give me retarded children that won't make it to adulthood. That's really what it means. That's what being good looking means. Good looking people tend to smell better because your immune system is optimized. If you have deformities in the face, it means you lack nutrition in the womb. If you smell, you're probably her cousin, or you're old and sickly and getting ready to die.
Bro, that's amazing. It's like you were basically repeating what I had an earlier conversation with like a black pill guy. He's got like a black pill group, and it sounds like the same thing. But obviously, you know, everyone's like, "Oh, black pill, black pill." But you know, would you say that's just the reality of life? You're just real about it.
Yeah, it's like I'll put it like this: there's what people think reality is, and then there's what reality really is. And what you have to do is you have to sit there and go, hey, you know what? My personal opinion aside, this is what I have to do to get results. Fuck it. I'm going to just do the thing to get results. So, like, I've been good looking and I've been not attractive. And I've been in social circles and out of social circles. Truthfully, the most powerful thing is having a social circle. You could be a good looking guy, but being good looking does not necessarily trigger a certain amount of trust with the best looking girls. That's where everyone tends to get this discrepancy. Most guys consider a 9 or a 10 just a girl you can pick up on the street. A 9 or a 10 is not a girl you will ever meet on the street. You cannot pick up a 9 or 10 on the street because they don't walk the streets. You live in London. If you go to Mayfair, you already know that looks don't matter. Because there's a dude who is good looking that is in a McLaren who probably is like a Formula One freaking driver. He's got status and he's got celebrity effect. It's better to be the celebrity than just be the good-looking guy. Because the good-looking guy who isn't the celebrity is gonna be able to kind of fuck him over. Because he's got status, especially if this girl knows who he is. Now, and the celebrity effect really matters when you start getting into specific niche demographics. So let's say that I was a famous male model and versus another male model. The famous male model is going to slay. I'll tell a guy, put the best looking guy that you know in a room with Logan Paul. Logan Paul's going to smash this fool. Because Logan Paul's known to a certain demographic on YouTube. You take that same male model where he's not known and put him in the middle of nowhere, and that village chieftain who has social proof is going to outfuck him. Because he is there's actually a neurochemical for this. So with the higher you are on the social totem pole, the higher your serotonin is. It's the social pride chemical. And typically you will have higher levels of dopamine. And it's because you have no physiological enemies. Dopamine also affects testosterone, funny enough. So
and yeah, that's and yeah, I suppose when you're dealing with these celebrities and high level IG chicks, you're going to be dealing with these like rappers and other models and superstars, right?
Baseball players that are sliding in their DMs. I've had to the last guy I remember I had to outgame for a girl was Suge Knight. I remember sitting there in the room one day. We're at the W Hotel, and it's me and my friend Taz. Taz is a 6'2" male model. Me and Taz are talking to these two girls. Now, Taz, I had lucky enough, I figured out how to outgame him. I was just like, you know what? Let him open the step first and then take his girl. What I would do. I'd let him open, because if I opened first, then he came in, it would fuck my shit up. So I let him open first, and then I would go in and find a commonality with the girl. And then what I would do is once I found the commonality, because usually good-looking guys are pretty stupid. They're not that smart. So it's the truth. Like they're used to getting by on good looks. So they usually don't have a great personality, and they're not really good at building rapport. Have the same problem. Like all my good-looking guy friends have the problem of building rapport, because girls will just give them a certain amount of comfort because they're good-looking, and I know that. So I know that like they've usually got like a time allotment, and I'm like, I'll wait 5 minutes and then just kind of come and take his chick every time. Did the same thing to him. We see Suge Knight walk in the room. Suge Knight walks in, and then the girls that we were talking to, oh my God, that's Suge Knight! Boom! Like, get up and go. And I remember going, interesting. His looks didn't matter. I need to understand why this is. You don't understand. And then what happened was I was like, the next time I was in a situation, I was like, go make friends with this social circle. So go in, because this is the second time I come back around, go build some social proof, meet some girls. It's like, hey, you know Suge Knight's in the room. Like, oh my God, I need to go meet Suge Knight. Like, oh, that's crazy. So bring the girls over because they were hotter than the girls he was talking to. Throw those girls on him. He's so busy talking to the girls. The girls get pissed off and they go, yo, fuck you, because they're losing attention from the person that they think is the alpha. And I'm like, wow, why is it guys like whenever you see just prettier girls, it just become such a dick? Like, oh my God, I know. Build a commonality and swoop the girl. There's metagame.
Okay. So Jay, it sounds like, it sounds amazing. Like I want you to touch your lifestyle, and I want to kind of bring it back, because a lot of guys watching this will be like, wow, like I'm so far away from this. So just explain, you've really touched on like the kind of lifestyle you live in. So just touch a little bit more on that, and then we'll kind of get into how everyone else can learn from this.
So the biggest thing with my lifestyle, was, it actually started to get set up based off of fundamental problems. I started to realize that game had a ceiling cap at some point. So like just cold approach game by itself it works. Don't get me wrong. Like if you're on the street or whatever, it's very effective. But like when you start trying to date women that are, they're paid for their looks, that's when you're going to start running into problems. Usually there are men that are paying them to go out. Like there was a photo shoot that we just did this past weekend. All of those girls showed up because they were trying to build their portfolio. To get those girls out any other way, there's really value add to them. Like just trying to go pick them up cold be difficult, because they're being flown out by Saudi princes. They're being flown out by billionaires. They're being invited to like the Netflix openings. They're being invited to agency parties. Like there's still underground parties that are going on in all these major metropolitan cities that the average person wouldn't know about unless they're already in those circles. And especially in a place like Los Angeles, when you come here, all the hottest girls, like they're only going to like a couple of places that only people that are in the know are going to know are even cool, or the places to go to. So the best place to go day game, if you will, truthfully, would be the brunch that would be going on at Mr. C's in Beverly Hills, or it would be the brunch that is going on at Toka, or at what's the other place? Isabel, or it would be the day party. Funny enough, at the bungalow. Like no one knows it. Like that is like the prime spot for like all the like hot sorority girls that all the promoters are trying to fight for on a Sunday in LA. Or they're going to be at some the Rockstar Mansion, or some who's one of the Ignite House or whatever. Well, Ignite House not anymore because like Dan's going through bankruptcy and whatnot, but it's going to be one of those. Those are the places to go. You're not going to meet them at the Grove anymore, because what happens is PUAs figured out that the Grove was the spot, and then they burnt the spot out. And every boot camp was like that. Some small companies trying to hold, they would hold them there. So all the hot girls started. The models stopped going there to go shopping at Top Man. They said it's creepy. It's not trendy anymore because creepy, ugly dudes are showing up there. So they leave. So they go somewhere else, and then they go somewhere that's more exclusive that people can't even get to. So the fishing pond just starts to move over and over again. So my lifestyle, because of that, I'm competing against other PUAs for the same market demographic in Los Angeles. So what I realized, I'm like, you know what? I need to have a reason to approach these girls outside of just cold approach. So my reason became I started working for an agency. I became a scout for an agency. Then it became from being a scout to where I was like, well, let me start my own agency. So we went and, raised capital, got investors, started an agency. That ended up not working. It ended up failing, but it was a very valuable experience. I got to fly around New York and other metropolitan cities and learn about the industry and learn what models go through, what their problems are. So now, fast forward to where I'm at now, we do talent management and we build the social media of like models. And because of that, when I meet a girl who's talented, like I just met a girl this past weekend, very beautiful girl. She's not signed, just moved to Los Angeles. So I already know, and she's at 241,000 followers. I wouldn't have met that girl if it weren't for the photo shoot, because we have a private group that is filled with a friend of mine who runs an agency. My friend is signed with him. My other friend, who's the investor in another agency. My other friend, who is the social media guy for Luke Crow. And my other friend, who he does stuff with like Monterey Car Week, and introduced me to the guy who actually built the brand Pink for Victoria's Secret. I'm texting the guy like right now actually about setting up a time to schedule an interview with him to learn about all the ins and outs of like the highest level, which is working for Victoria's Secret, the big agency models, and like supermodels, because that's the level that we're going to now, and we're trying to scale towards. So that's what my lifestyle is now, but it's been a process to build that. I first identified what I wanted first, and then started reverse engineering what it would look like and what it would take to get there. And then once I did that, then it was find teams and systems to be able to collab and to scale that. Because you can't do that alone. It's impossible. It's literally impossible to do this type of shit alone. Like that photo shoot, we had 7 shooters, and we had like 3 other guys that were just helping with like setup and lighting and getting a DJ and then paying for the brunch. And then we had to have a chef to cook. It's like a whole thing.
Amazing. Because even before we first spoke, obviously, you kind of get a feel for people you see online based on pictures, what they're saying. And I was thinking maybe, you're in LA, you're one of these rich LA kids, maybe you come from a rich family and you're just in the circle. So just explain, because obviously you mentioned names, you mentioned Dan's going bankrupt. Is that Dan Bilzerian?
Yeah.
Yeah. So you're running a talent agency, you're in all these parties, where's where, you're in the middle of it. It seems like the middle of, in terms of the world, in terms of all the hottest girls, I guess they're all in LA, Vegas, and New York.
They're in London. And maybe London's a fashion capital. They're in London. You're in a prime setting for model. You're in model capital.
Okay, and I'm clearly not making the most of it. So tell me, Jay. So someone like me watching this, or you can even speak to me direct. What was your first step? Obviously, you touched on, you spoke to that hot girl's boyfriend, and then he basically took you under his wing. Can you still see me?
So what I would do for you is I would instantly ask, because so you're in the fitness space. So a lot of my friends that are in the fitness space, first thing I tell them is like, what type of woman do you want?
Oh, sorry, bro. Cut out. It cut out. You said what kind of woman that cut out?
Yeah, so I said, do you like what type of women do you like? Are you into like fitness chicks, like IG, like fitness models?
Yeah, I like women who are fit, but really and truly, I mean, I've always wanted to get like those celebrities. But yeah, I like a fit woman for sure. I think all celebrities are fit now. All the top women are fit in shape, no? Yo.
Somehow something came out, my computer just like shut off. I was like, what the fuck? Anyway, we were so you like fitness model chicks. Would that be a safe assumption? Because I don't know your type, but if this was like a consult call, this would be the first thing that we would go into is identifying your exact type. So if you're into fitness models, right, for you, because you have a specialty in training people to be able to get very physically fit, if you just did that for women, you actually would have, you're creating what's called excellence, and that excellence gives you value to add to your target demographic. So let's say you're like, I help fitness models get the more of the booty of their dreams, or I help fitness models to start a digital online business where they can monetize their social media, right? That is how you would target that demographic and have something of value to them, because all girls that are in the fitness space that are trying to date a lot of these different celebrities and whatnot, what they're trying to do is they usually want to monetize their social media. Now that's an easy in for you to build your social circle around. And then that social circle that you're building, you'd easily be able to date those girls because why? You've got the accumulation of time, you've got something of value to them, and it's something you're an expert in. So there's something called the authority principle that Milgram talks about. And then studies have shown that women tend to find attractive their pastors, what are called religious figures, police officers, and yoga teachers. And it's because it's the authority principle. And there were studies done into obedience where people are willing to comply with someone just because they're in a position of authority. Like, this is the Milgram shock test shows this, the Stanford prison experiment. These are things that are very easy to be able to utilize. So let's say you're a digital marketer. You can use that as an area to leverage your expertise. If you're an expert real estate agent, it doesn't matter what it is, just leverage your expertise and just target it to a female demographic. And that's how you can get some of the hottest women, because usually the hottest women are very ambitious and usually want to do something from a business aspect. It's a very easy way. And social media is huge right now.
So you believe in mixing business and pleasure?
Oh, 100%. Because you've got 24 hours in a day, right? If you think about it, let's think about like cold approach, right? You go out and you have to spend maybe like 1 to 2 hours. The guys usually say like, oh, I can get a number in 10 minutes and I can close the same day. But like, you still have to accumulate time. You're going to accumulate that time somewhere to close. And usually it takes a couple of hours to close. A lot of guys that get last minute resistance is usually because of the lack of time and comfort in the situation. If I'm going to have to spend a couple hours with the girl anyways, I'd rather get the ROI of being able to date her, but also get her friends and get them to bring me leads. Most guys just like pump and dump a girl. That's not my philosophy. I'm friends with all of my exes. Every girl that I've ever dated, I'm still friends with, because guess what? Girls know more girls. What do guys know more of?
Guys.
More dudes, right? So like, why would I ever want to leave my life? I want a lead to come in my funnel and to stay in my funnel and to keep inviting their friends. Like I could open my DMs right now. I've got 9 new messages specifically from women that are coming to a container event that I'm doing with Psych that you saw already on Saturday. So whether I cold approach or not, I'm getting inbound leads every single day because it's all about systems. And I'm using my expertise of what? Understanding the modeling industry and having those connections to therefore funnel in my exact type that I want to date. And as I get older, what am I going to get more of? More and more of those leads. It's just gonna, each year is just going to keep what? Compounding. It's like, would you rather have a penny? Would you rather have $1,000 today or a penny that compounds every single day? Which is going to be more valuable as time goes on?
It's the penny, isn't it?
Compound interest. What did Albert Einstein said? Compound interest is the mathematically most fascinating principle on the planet, and it's because of the fact that at some point it starts to snowball.
And for everyone listening who doesn't understand what a container event is, correct me if I'm wrong. Isn't it like a small party, small gathering that you invite women to for them to mingle with each other and yourself? And what does your one look like? Is it? Oh, go on.
Well, I have multiple containers, Mike. I might have a container that's just a dinner. It may be a dinner. It may be a networking dinner. We used to do networking dinners for a while. We used to do them at the Sunset Grill, and every single week. And then before then, we used to do them at this place called what was it? Sofitel Hotel. We'd have a networking dinner all the time, and I would bring girls that would want to meet very powerful people, and I'd bring beautiful girls that were looking for jobs, and then I would bring in people that were powerful. I'd bring in agents, I would bring in producers, I would bring in, you know, brand managers, I'd bring in social media experts. Even at my birthday, I've got the footage from my birthday, and there's a bunch of girls that are there. And what we did was I invited people that the girls would specifically want to meet. Hey, you're in real estate, you should meet this person over here. They actually happen to do real estate marketing. Hey, you know, you're a model. There's this agent that's coming to my birthday. Oh, hey, you should meet the fashion designer. You remember? Do you remember the fashion show or whatever that we did last year in New York City? Yeah, this guy right here. Yeah, that's the guy you should meet. You see that girl next to him? Yeah, that's the model, or whatever, that just shot with him. That's his girlfriend. And like, it's all of my things that I do are bring together people of value. Like if I wanted to get you to come out, I'd be like, hey, Justin, I've got a few influencers that are exactly your type, and we're going to go do a party, whatever, in London. It's going to be at some private penthouse, and there's going to be some people there I know that would help you build your business. There's some ClickFunnels 2 Comma Club winners that are like, or let's, you know, I'll give a better one. I know you're trying to build your business around like gym maxing. What if I told you that Brandon Carter was showing up? Because that's what the business you're building right now. And if it's a couple of girls you want to meet too, you're like, damn, Jay's bringing people that I'd want to meet that I couldn't meet otherwise without him to an event, and other girls that I'm attracted to. Oh, hell yeah, I'm showing up.
Okay, it makes sense. So you know what the girls want, you know what the guys want, and then you just connect the two.
Correct.
So you're a connector, would you say?
Yes. Malcolm Gladwell talks about this when it comes to building social circles. There's three types of people that matter the most in epidemics. Basically anything that's trying to go viral, and it's mavens, connectors, and salesmen. Mavens, information junkies or information specialists. Connectors, they know people. The last one is salesmen. They're very influential people that can persuade people to make decisions they would never make otherwise. And you need all three inside of any business or any trending thing that you're trying to make trending to make it go viral.
I see. Okay, so Jay, it sounds like you need to kind of bring some sort of value to the table. Like the game you describe is a game I thought once you maximize, let's say red pill, so you maximize, you know, looks, money, and status, then you have access to this. So is that true, or can you be living at your mum's basement, barely skating by, working at, you know, McDonald's and execute this game, or is there like an entry level that you need to get to?
I'm gonna say this. You can do it while working at the McDonald's, but you're not gonna be fucking Victoria's Secret models tomorrow. Let's just be real. You see what I'm saying, right? Like let's say hypothetically you do get into the Victoria's Secret party. Like, do you even have logistics to close? Where are you going to close? Like, are you gonna close at her place? Like, you see what I'm saying? Like, you need to have. You don't have those things down. Yeah, you could close at her place, but like, what about keeping it? Most guys just think about the pickup. They don't think about actually keeping her. Like, do you know to date a model, what type of lifestyle you have to have? Like, let's just see, guys don't think about the reality of it. You're dating a model. Do you know that every 3 to 6 months, she's in a new city, she's in a new marketplace, she's in Singapore or she's in London. Like, Fashion Week starts in New York for 2 weeks. Then after there, you got London Fashion Week. Then you got Paris Fashion Week. Then you got Milan Fashion Week. Dude, that's literally a month that she's just going from market to market to market. And afterwards, she's gone. Do you know designers release 8 collections a year? So by the time that that's done, she may have a few jobs or whatever. Do you know that when she goes on a shoot, she's usually shooting from like 5 a.m. She's be like in hair and makeup at 5 a.m. And then by the time she's done, it's been like a full 12-hour day. Afterwards, she's kind of like gassed. She just wants to go chill. And you know, if she's going to go party, you know where she's going to go? Exclusive clubs that you can't even get to. Yeah, she could even be underage. And guess what? They will actually let her in because of the fact that they pay promoters to bring girls like that on $100 per head to bring those girls out to their parties. So if she has a choice of going to coffee with you or getting picked up in an Uber Black, right, getting a comp dinner for free, that's probably worth about $1,500, completely paid for, and you're going, hey, I'm going to take you for coffee, and you're not an agent, why? Like, why? Unless she's a model that isn't really working, or she's just new and doesn't really understand how things work. You can get her then. But what's going to happen is she's going to end up meeting a promoter at some point. She's going to somehow, those promoters sit outside of castings. How do I know? I used to sit outside of LA models because I used to sit at the Chipotle or the FedEx next door where they had to like go print out their shit. so I could go meet the models before they got signed, or when they would go in for their to go update their digitals.
Okay, so you have to be hitting levels. Okay, so I know there's certain coaches will talk about just be a photographer, just be a videographer, you know, you'll be in there. I mean, what do you reckon about that? Or that's not enough?
No, you can be a photographer for sure, but you're going to work with girls that aren't usually that great if you don't have a really good portfolio of models that you've already shot with. So you've got to shoot with really amazing models, which means you need to connect yourself to an agency or underneath or work for a photographer who's a big photographer and be his assistant. You know, I did that for a while. I was like a backup shooter to an actual a mother agent. So then it allowed me to learn and to get the ropes down, learning how to shoot. Because he gave me access to the girls. He's got the girls. He's got the list. Why would I try to go do it on myself? I would go find someone who's already got the list and connect with them. So that way, it helps me to leapfrog my success. That's like if you've got 25 girls that you know, shouldn't I become friends with you? Makes my life easy, right? And then add value to you, so then you bring me into your social circle. Okay, think about it. How are we on this podcast right now? I added value. If I came into your group and I tried to outshine you and I tried to out-alpha you, you'd be like, dude, fuck you. Dude, get the fuck out of my fucking group. Because why? I'm taking value. I'm becoming what's called a freeloader. And I can explain the science behind freeloaders and all that and like why we don't like them. But don't be a freeloader. Don't come into a group and try to outshine the master. 48 laws of power. Like, go in and make the master look good. Don't talk shit on him. Don't down talk him. Go in, help him, add some value to him, because guess what's going to happen? You brought me into your social circle. You can kick me out of your group at any given time, at any given point. But you only keep me in there as long as I'm adding value and making life easier for you. We had a very long conversation for about a couple hours or whatever, just day one. You're like, damn, I like this guy. And I was like, hey, here's what I would do if I was you. Adding value. Because if I add value to you today, your brain goes, if he adds value like this today, what will he do tomorrow? What would he do the day after that, the day after that?
That's amazing. So would you say living this kind of lifestyle is as much as networking with other men, powerful men, as it is women? What's more important, would you say?
The women are the key. The men are the door. The women are the key. The men are the door. Because guess what? The powerful men usually have access to resources that you don't have access to and connections that you have access to. Let's say I want to bring a girl out for a dinner, right? I can't afford to go pay for that, so I need a baller who can. But what does the baller need? Maybe he wants girls. Maybe he wants other dope connections because he's too busy. He's too busy building his business to like focus on girls. But guess you can bring him, you know, a few dope girls. He's like, hey, I like this guy. You're bringing the girls around him. You know, my first business investment came from a guy who had a bunch of money. So I met this dude. I met the owner of this restaurant at a high status club. Asked him about his business. I said, you know, so what do you want to do for this opening? He said, that's what I want to do. And I was like, okay, do you mind if I help? He said, for sure. I was like, do you have a flyer? He said, yeah. I was like, mind if I invite a few girls? He said, sure. I was like, hey man, I've got a few models or whatever that want to like roll through. He was like, yeah. So then I reached out to this model promoter. I was like, hey, do you want to celebrate your girl's birthday with a calm dinner at this restaurant that's opening? He said, yeah, for sure. I was like, you want us to make a flyer for him? He's like, yeah, for sure. Then I reached out to my friend. I was like, hey, Miles, he's a celebrity son. I was like, hey, Miles, do you want to come to this event? I know you love fashion models. There's a few that are coming from LA models. He said, okay, bet. So, because I know what models want, what Miles wants. And then I asked the media guy, hey, do you want to go shoot a bunch of models at this private event? The media guy happened to be a personal assistant for me because I teach social circles. He said, okay, cool, I'm down to do it. I'm down to film that. I said, okay, great. Brought him. Then I got this guy over here. I was like, hey, man, he was a guy I'd watched on YouTube. He was a social circle guy. I was like, hey, I'm so good on seeing you in Adam's interview. He thought I knew him because I just knew some information that he didn't know that I already had watched on YouTube. Because people of high status that meet so many people don't usually know who they've met. Like if someone met me and they were like, hey, man, like I met you at this particular event, I would feel so guilty because I meet so many people. I'd be like, baby, I do know this guy. And I'd be nice to him out of the fact that I can't afford in my lifestyle to treat someone low status that potentially may be high status. So I'm like, oh, well, maybe he is high status. I'll just be nice to him out of the kindness of my heart because I'm like, I don't want to piss that dude off. What if he's like, what if he knows some owner? What if he knows an agency owner? He could fuck my shit up. I'm like, I'm gonna be nice to this guy. So then this guy shows up. They all have a good time. And then he asked me later, he's like, hey, I've got this content shoot coming up that I need some girls for. Invited the girls, added value again. Third time he's like, hey, I need some seat fillers for this content out of this shoot I'm doing. I said, not a problem. I showed up. I met this guy who was one of his students. The guy was like, hey, man, you have all these girls, and Chin has talked really good things about you. Can you want to do a shoot up at my house up in Poway, at my client's house in Poway? I said, for sure. He was like, we got a bunch of like Lamborghinis and all this. So I said, okay, great, I'm down. So I had a bunch of girls like, do you want to go do a weekend up at like this house in Poway, and we're gonna like go and have all these like comp dinners at restaurants? The girls were like, yeah, we want to do that. So brought 15 girls to the dude's house. The guy was so impressed. He said, dude, I don't know what you're doing, but like, I want to understand like your business. Like, what are you trying to do? And I talked about my plans and my dreams. And he said, okay, cool. He said, come up with a business plan, come back in a month or whatever, and I'll give you the investment. The business plan was complete shit. I brought another model to the business meeting. He gives me my first investment to start the agency. It came from just leapfrogging, from introduction from one person to another person, adding value, and then I got the investment. Even so, like, I could partner with his OnlyFans agency. The guy was like, can you make a program for me? Because you're legit about this. I knew the guy back when I was promoting in San Diego. Filmed the program for him, just finished it this weekend. Another guy, he's like, hey, man, can you collab for my agency? I need some dope girls. And I know you're the guy who knows this shit. I just got that deal like 2 weeks ago. And then that shoot came through. He was like, hey, man, I know you know these girls and you're the guy to talk to. So like building a brand of being the guy who's the connector, who adds value, has been the primary thing in my life that has gotten me opportunity after opportunity after opportunity. That's how I even got into managing talent. Because someone knew that I'm that guy that everyone should be talking to.
Amazing. My mind's blown. It almost sounds like, women are kind of, I'm not one of these feminists or anything, like any BS like that. Like like, that's not me. But it sounds like women are kind of like a currency. Like,
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? But everyone knows what's going on.
In a big city, it really is. In a city like London, like, dude, London has some of the hardest nightclub doors to get into possible. Like, it is ridiculous. Like, you have to know somebody who, it's like members only type venues. Like Soho House in London is ridiculous. And if you're going to get in there, you better know a member, and you better be someone that they think is cool. Like Cold Approach in high status social circles, it's like you better be the most calibrated normal guy possible, because if you fuck up once, you're out. Like like I've seen boot camps, and like if you're at a high status party and you're the guy who's like being creepy, dude, you're getting kicked out that fast. Because you're spin moving girls, you're groping on girls, and when we see that, we're like, oh, he's creepy, dude, get him the fuck out of the room. Guys don't get it. And like most coaches, the reason they can't teach us, because they're not even in those social circles in the first place. What you see on YouTube, bro, those are shit bars, places that hot girls don't even go. The hottest girls are being funneled into parties that you don't even know exist.
Yeah, exactly.
They were 16, 17, 18.
Oh, sorry, bro, you cut out. It seems to be frozen.
And I was just saying that in these type of social circles, most of these girls that are young, they've been having it act like celebrity, high status shit since like 16, 17, 18, man. It's just like, so they're overstimulated by so much stuff. And guys are putting these women on a pedestal, and it's like, dude, there's by you trying to be like, I'm gonna go scarce and go ghost on her. That only matters when you already have social proof. You can't run the scarcity bias when you don't have social proof. That's like me being like, yo, man, I'm gonna go ghost and no one knows who I am. They're not gonna care. They're indifferent.
Yeah, I come across a Red Pill coach on YouTube. He was like, oh, would she, would she do that to Brad Pitt or a celebrity crush? Like that was his reason for like cutting a girl off. Like if she texts you back slowly or she flakes, like would she do that to a celebrity crush?
You're not Brad Pitt. You're not Leo. Like they're trying to equate themselves to Leo, but they're not Leo in her head. She doesn't know who you are. You're not some YouTuber. You're not some TikToker. You're not King Bach. You're just a guy. You're just a dude. You have with no social proof, and you're gonna try to run high status. Like that's like when I hear guys say I'm an alpha male. Do you know in the wild, whenever you see an alpha male, you know how you identify who the alpha male is in the wild? It's one thing.
About women.
Thank you. Like, like you always see what? The alpha lion with a pride of other females. If he was a lion by himself, he'd be like, oh, he must be looking for a pride.
Yeah, like, yeah.
They always have an entourage.
Yeah, yeah. Okay. Another question for you. So do you reckon? So being rich does that entitle you to live this game, or you have to put the work in?
I'll
Because I
say this:
always thought,
if you're rich, honestly, man, you can pay for the setup. If you're rich, you can pay for access to Soho House. You can pay for the girls to show up to your house. You can pay for sick legit. I have a friend that has a sick house up in the Hollywood Hills, and I'm like, bro, invite the promoters to your house and have them bring their girls. That's better ROI for you than you cold approach. And then he's like, oh man, I'm down to do that, but like I don't want too many guys. I'm like, bro, you need good looking guys in your party to brand your party. Hot girls want to go to a place that other hot guys go to. How did I figure this out? Because for a while I was trying to get girls to come out. I started noticing this one time on my Snapchat when I would post with my good looking guy friends who were Chad. What I started to notice, girls would be like, yo, so like, who's your friend? So then I started developing a squad of good-looking guys that were male models. I asked my girls, I was like, yo, like, I used to bring them out and be like, what would make the parties more fun? What would make you care more? Like, what music do you guys like? Why are Franco's parties sick? Why do you guys go to the Ignite parties? And I would ask, and they'd be like, oh, it's because of this, and it's like who I'm gonna meet, other hot girls that go there. My friends are going there. So like, girls go where their friends go. Well, their friends usually go to high status shit. So it's hard to get a girl to go somewhere if her friends are already gonna go. So I started realizing, make friends with the guys that everyone else is hating on, because then just by being in that crew, it was easier to get more girls to come out because my crew was dope. My crew was dope.
so you're actually manipulating or using other people's looks in your favor. So looks do matter, but in terms of how you use it is wow. See, this is next level.
Nigga in the world. Like, think about it. I could be the ugliest nigga in the world, but if I'm seen with you, I must be cool. And if you got a great social media, I must be cooler. And if I've got 5 guys who look like you, I must look really cool.
Yeah, you're gaming everything.
Become one of the cool kids.
That's it. And this is the thing that, these pure PUAs refuse to admit. Like they feel like they can game with just game and do this trick and say this at this time and raise the level and this and that. And that's all you need. But you're saying the reality of life. Like you're just saying it. Like I reckon the game, you saw my post, didn't it? You commented on my post. The game, it seems like the game to avoid inceldom and to get laid is different to hitting these models. Like it's and that seems like the reality. Like we all know this. Like, but a lot of guys will be like, oh, I don't want one of those models anyway. Like that's not for me. I'm not looking for that. I just want to be happy and have a nice girl to be my own. Would you agree with that statement?
Well, guess what? Even the girl that you want to have, just like the nice girl that you want to have, you need to have an attractive lifestyle. Like people don't get it. When you run a business and you're the boss and everyone is looking up to you, you know why girls want to date that guy? It's because of the effects of serotonin. Serotonin is the social pride chemical. Do you know half of your mitochondrial energy? So mitochondria are the little battery packs that like run your body. And they turn air, sunlight, and food into ATP, which is energy. Do you know that half of your brain's energy goes into the acquisition and the running away from people who are low status? People that potentially could kill your chances of spreading your seed to the next generation?
That's crazy.
So a girl wants to align with status. You have a neurochemical. The chemical for status is serotonin. So girls get a sense of pride by dating the CEO.
So that's like a natural high, basically. And there's studies to prove that as well.
Yep.
I'm not surprised. I mean, I suppose, if there's a concert, if a girl gets a picture with the rapper or the artist, it's gonna make her life, isn't it?
Correct. And guess what? If she dates that rapper, she's got a better chance. If she's a musician, she's got a better chance of getting signed to what? A music label. She has a better chance of actually popping on social media. She's got a better chance of getting that deal. But dating the regular dude, what does he do for her? Like, what function in her life does he serve besides dick? She got a lot of dudes that can give her dick. Dude, she's a girl. Like, by virtue of being a female, males are going to approach. Now, why have males been taught to do most of the chasing? It's because way back when, in order for us to go and marry, we had to pay a dowry to the father to marry. Do you know in Muslim cultures you still have to do this? Like, so my stepdad is Kenyan, and his brother, in order to marry his wife, he had to give up like 20 goats, land, and like something else or whatever, just to marry the wife. And then there's still the gifts for her, and he's still paying off whatever that debt is to that family.
Wow.
Like, that's why. Like, that's like, and women were prized because if the woman wasn't a virgin and you slept with her, and on her wedding night they could pull that sheet out and there was no blood on there, it was a sign that she wasn't a virgin, which brought major shame to that family. They would have stoned her for that. And no male wants to take care of what? A child that isn't his own. So what do you think? What do kings do when they would go take from the people who take their virgin daughters? What would they do? All the men that were in their kingdom, they all were eunuchs, to make sure that their heirs were their own. Because how did you transfer kingdoms? It was based off of what? Blood right. You had to be a legitimate heir. Because if you didn't have an heir, you know who it would go to? It would go to one of his family members. And the queen would easily be deposed. It would probably kill her.
Yes, it's deep. Deep for real. Jay, last question. And obviously time's running. I know you're a busy guy as well. Quickly touch on.
We got a lot of questions that got fielded in that I screenshotted to make sure that we answer. Yeah, guys sent in some questions. So I want to make sure that we answer those for the guys.
Okay, cool. Just do it. Give me 1 sec because I'm supposed to be having someone. Actually, you know what? If she comes, it's cool. Actually, she could just chill. All right. So I want you to touch on social media game, and then we're gonna go through your questions. So how do you leverage that to get the most return on investment? And maybe touch on that a little bit as well.
Okay. The first thing I would tell guys is that you need to first off get 9 outfit changes, and we want you to take 1 weekend, and those 9 outfit changes, we want you to go shoot in as many different locations as you can, particularly high status locations. So if you can get high status locations because things are shut down in your area, what I want you to do is I want you to go to maybe like really dope hiking spots or touristy spots. Go during golden hour because it's the light is the absolute best to shoot that shot, and go get a really good shot there. Go shoot with a professional photographer that knows how to pose you. He knows how to kind of give you more of a model look. So like usually someone that is shot with models, because they can tell you how to pose. Because typically with men always try to shoot with the exact same face, and most men don't know what their angles are. So before the shoot, I would recommend that you do an ice or a cold bath, maybe about 45 minutes to get rid of all the inflammation in your face. You don't want your face looking puffy in a shoot. They send models home for showing up with a puffy face. Don't drink the night before. Make sure that you eat a light meal. If you can go fasted, even better. Maybe drink some green tea. Go to the shoot. When you go to the shoot, have the photographer just consistently keep you moving and keep you posing, because it's usually going to take about 150 shots to find like 5 really good shots. But we need 9 good photos for social media. We need 9. So dope, trendy restaurants, like touristy hiking locations. So like California would be like Yosemite, maybe like San Luis Obispo. Maybe you can go like to Mount Rubidoux, go to trendy places like Toca Madera. But the thing is, out here, these things are kind of closed. So right now, I would just say primarily for hikes. I don't know where people are located, but like trendy bars, trendy restaurants, sick hiking locations. If you got the money and you can go and rent like a plane for the day, I'd even go as far as that. Just because we've seen that when people took high status photos during the proper hours of the day, that when they use those for Tinder, their results went through the roof in terms of the amount of girls that actually message them or would end up DMing them. For your profile, you want to have those 9 shots there. You want to have a very simple bio. Your bio should be like no more than maybe 50, I'm going to say about 30 characters or whatever, if you will. And it should just be very simple about what is it that you do. So if you're like a photographer or whatever, don't put your photography stuff on your main page. That's for your personal brand. Your photography page is going to be completely separate. If you're a digital marketer, it's like I help CEOs do X, Y, and Z, or you might just put like marketer or student or whatever it is that you're going to put. If you don't want to put student, don't put student. I might even go as far as like living life vicariously, one step at a time. Something witty, something clever, something simple. That's on your page. Right now, when you start DMing girls, they're going to come look at your profile. That's the first thing they will do. When they look at your profile, if your photos aren't optimized, your conversions will be so much fucking less. I can promise you that. Number 2, when you DM, if you're gonna DM, truth be told, don't DM the traditional cold approach lines. Respond to the girl's story, which would be even better. Respond with some type of commonality. Look at what you see on her. Look at what you see on her photos or whatever. Maybe leave a comment that actually is relevant. Like, hey, I really love the aspect ratios on this shot. Where was this taken? Or this is like a really sick photo. Did you shoot this during golden hour? Like, it needs to be somewhat relevant. Or like, yo, this is a really sick piece of content. Like, what was the photography you shot with? If they're not tagged, you need to make the content relevant. It needs to be something they've invested time and energy into. Because anything we invest time and energy into, we typically want a compliment around. Like for you, you've worked out quite a lot. If I was to give you a compliment, I'd be like, dude, I'm not gonna say, dude, you're buff, because you're like, nigga, I know that. But if I'm like, dude, I love the fact that like, not only are you ripped, but I can tell the amount of discipline and the work that goes from like the meal prepping to how many hours you got to put into the gym to like how you got to like hack your sleep needs. That's a lot of freaking work, dude. Like, mad fucking respect, because I know that shit ain't easy. And if I was doing it, dude, I'd be like, fuck this, I don't want to continue doing it. So like, mad respect for all the work you've put in. You're smiling right now listening to that because you're just like, yep, he's right. I've put in those amount of hours of work. Because it's not flattering. I'm not telling you something you already know. I'm telling you something that you know, but you've invested time and energy into. And that's what matters the most when it comes to social media. Like that's what I'd recommend like first. That's the basic stuff for social media. Anything else after that is going to be strictly social circle. You need teams. You need to literally like start setting up teams. They're going to help you do what you do. You cannot do anything alone. Every major company, every major brand that's been built, anything that's of any real importance, it's been built through teams. I have a team of 6 that work with me, not including my other teams for all the other projects that we're doing, because I can't do it alone. I just hired some new interns to help scale up some stuff, and I was like, I need help.
Yeah, amazing. I know you mentioned you'll talk about Instagram. I know you touched on Tinder. Maybe that was a mistake. You were talking about Instagram just there, right?
I touched on Tinder very lightly. I would take those same.
Okay.
I take those same photos. Okay. I take those same photos. I put them on Tinder, right? If a guy's, and then just put your IG there. Girls will start to follow you from that. Girls will message you, and then with Tinder, with Tinder, I love to do this. This is what I used to do. Sick optimized photos. Leave your handle there for your social media, and then what I would do is every girl that I matched with that was dope, I'd be like, I'm not on here much. Do you use Instagram? Which, if they're hot, they all do. And I'd just be like, what's your IG? And then she's much more likely to give up her IG than give up her number. I would get her IG and bring her to my IG funnel, and then because then I can put stories in front of her. Or usually my thing is like, hey, I'm not really on here that much. We've got a party coming up with like a few friends or whatever. You seem like a really dope person. I'm assuming you got friends, right? It's like, okay, cool. Yeah, I do. Like, okay, what's your social media to keep in touch? Because I'm just not on here much. I'm not going to check this at all. And then funnel her directly into your IG, and then put dope stories and funny memes on your IG. And what's going to happen? You're going to start seeing more girls like DM you. Because one, if they find a story that's really fucking funny. So I usually use memes from female accounts because I get more inbound like DMs and girls that follow up with me from using those memes than anything else. Number 2, have a dope lifestyle. Like, people don't really get this. Like, they try to live like this whack ass lifestyle and think that girls can be interested. Go do something fun. Like, go make friends. Go develop pre-selection. Because when girls see you with other girls, you look attractive. There's only 2 things that scientifically have been proven to trigger attraction. One is pre-selection, and the other one is sexual attractiveness, being good looking. So stack the deck in your favor. Be good looking. Dress really well. Go and get a really good tailor. Wear clothing that fits well for your face. Go and make female friends. Go improve your income. I'm not saying don't like that you can't do that. You can't do it just by game alone. But do you really want to go spend years of your life to like become like a top level cold approach guy, to be able to cold approach from the ground up to like go do that? That's a lot of work. And your life's going to go out of balance. How do I know? Because I did that. Like, I'm 31 years old trying to make up for like time that I spent all those years cold approach, when I was like, dude, all I had to do was go and build a business around my passions and then bring women into that. And I would have been dating some of the hottest women in a fraction of the time because I was getting paid to be around beautiful women. So then my business and my social life merge. And that's what I'm doing now because I don't like wasting time. I got 24 hours in a day. I run 2 businesses. I ain't got time to sit there and be like, I'm going to go on a date and I'm gonna go cold approach for hours at a time to go close and then lose my sleep, and then gotta like follow up with the girl. That's just a lot of work. I'm like, I need systems to automate this and let my interns manage and delegate. No.
Wow, we've got to have another episode for that, because I know you're not even stretching the surface right now. I know we've been talking about the background.
Not even close.
You got some next level. All right, let's dive into some of the questions or other points that you was going to mention, just because I know this. I don't want this to be interrupted by
Yeah. Let's take a look, because I screenshotted all of the questions that they got fielded, because I wanted to make sure that we went through them, because I know that guys are going to be like, but you didn't cover this, dude. I know guys. I know how they are. So, screenshots. There we go. So one of the first ones that came in is how do you build a social circle building during COVID? So here's the first thing. Trying to build a social circle during COVID, the easiest way that I would recommend about doing that is going to literally be using social media. You should be using Instagram to build your social circle right now. So again, we gave you some really good tips about optimizing your profile, going and getting those 9 really good photos, getting those 9 outfit changes. Oh, and here's a little secret. Do you know all those all the outfits that you brought? You can mix and match them and get even more photos out of that. And then what you can do is you can release those photos over the next 4 to 6 months from that one content shoot. And everyone thinks that your social media stays active. No one knows that you shot 120 pieces of content in 3 days, and then you can just post them every other day consistently. I would use social media. That's the first thing that I would do. I'd be using social media getting the type of girls that I'm after I've optimized my profile first. How to host a private party with COVID regulations. Okay, here's what you're going to do. So you're going to need a house. You're going to need a house or some type of location. Number 1. You're going to need, number 2, you're going to need what's called a connector who knows a lot of the girls that you're trying to bring out, and you're going to need to connect with that person, try to identify how you can add value to them. So I would use social media to reach out to that person and try to stalk what they're doing, and then find people that are close to them, because every person has a circle of 5 friends who influence them. If you can find out the nearest person to them and find out what they need or what they're working on, or just network with them for the sake of networking, get on a call with them and just kind of get to know them. That's an easy way to find out what they need and what they're working on. So where you can broker a friendship, you can be like, hey man, we're throwing this party during this date or whatever. Love to bring you along or whatever. Do you happen to have any really good friends that'd be a good fit for this? You do that to enough people through DMing and getting on phone calls, you'll definitely find somebody. So you got to find the house, right? You're gonna need alcohol. You're gonna need some type of music, right, for the girls to want to come to. Whether that's you hiring a DJ or whether that's you using a really sick Spotify playlist, I don't know what it is. But you're going to need those things. And each of those things, you just need to find somebody that's either willing to cover the cost, or someone's going to DJ, or someone that's going to bring the girls, or someone that's going to have the house. That's what you need to go ahead and get done. And with COVID regulations, you just keep it small. You keep it super small. And the reason you keep it super small, maybe no more than 20, 25 people, is this. More people than that, the more traffic that you're bringing to the house, the more the neighbor's going to be very well aware. So you make a flyer, send the flyer directly to the people through DMs, right? That's a good one. We would even go as far as we used to film teasers for our parties. So then that way we would send that to the girl. Or we say, these are parties we've done in the past. I would send girls the parties I've done in the past that I've shot, in order to make them think that the parties that look legit and look dope, to where more girls are going to want to show up. But you need to make sure the party actually is dope, or girls won't come back. And then if you're going to get a flyer, go to Fiverr and hire someone on Fiverr to make the flyer, or go to 99 Designs and get 5 designers and whoever comes up with the best one is the one who you pay. And that's how you make sure you get the best flyer for your shit. Hold on, let me make sure this nigga passed, because he's. Let's see. Okay. Someone goes, how to approach a group of girls solo. Okay, so here's what you do. When I approach a group of girls, I treat the group as a unit. I talk to everybody. So usually I go in and I'm gonna open with a pre-opener. It might be something like, hey, do you guys know what time this place gets good? Hey, do you guys happen to have the time by any chance? Or do you guys know where the nearest bathroom is? Doesn't matter what it is. It's just some type of justified open. And then I'll be like, hey, thank you guys so much for helping me out. I'm gonna leave and then I'm gonna come back. The second time I come back and be like, hey, you guys are like super friendly. Be like, hey, you guys are super friendly. I have to ask you guys, like, how do you guys all know each other? Or like, or not even gonna ask that. I'm gonna say, hey, you guys are super friendly. I just had to introduce myself because it's the least I can do. I don't want to be rude. And because you got that mirror exposure, they're much more likely to be a lot more nice to you. Then you can be like, hey, you know, transition, and then go into a normal conversation, right? That's how I'm going to approach a group. I usually come very indirect, especially the hotter the girls are, because I'm well aware that by virtue of me coming in, they're assuming I'm going to fucking hit on them. Girls have an instant fucking awareness when it comes to men. So I tell guys, build social proof first before you try to actually go get any depth within the group.
He's on job. Sounds like an ice cream man in the winter.
Ice cream man, which is funny.
Oh man, I had to move to where you are, man. Flipping X.
So yeah, so I'll usually approach most of the room once, create a warm environment for myself with social proof. Then I'm gonna go back to the same people that I approached, and then once I go into those groups, it's just like, you know, you got a really funky accent. Where's it from? Start doing conversational flow, transition. Start asking how you guys all know each other. Oh, that's actually really cool. And then just start getting to know the group dynamics and be like, hey, you guys are some really cool people. You guys should come meet my friends over here. And then I'm gonna go introduce this group to this group over here. And I'm gonna start creating this nice little network effect where I start bringing people together. And the more people that I bring together, the more social proof I have, it becomes easier to actually game the girls I want to game once I have social proof. So I build social proof first before I even start gaming. So then the game becomes easy. If I don't do that, it's just really fucking hard to try to go build that shit up cold without social proof. So I leverage social proof even during day game. I will go and like cold approach, get one person talking to you, be like, hey, I need an outside opinion on this. So what do you think on this? And then like, be like, you're a girl, like you should give me your opinion, and then bring her into the conversation. And then because I'm already talking to somebody, I've got social proof, it's easier.
It's crazy because so many PUAs and other people be like, no, just go straight for the one you want, forget the other ones, you're wasting time. You know what I'm saying? It's crazy.
That's like, dude, imagine you with your sister, right? And I walk up and I just ignore you and talk to your sister. How likely are you to like cock block me at some point? You're like, fuck this dude. so you can do that, but your chances of getting blown out go through the roof because you're doing antisocial behavior trying to be social. So building a social circle in general. First thing I tell you, identify the type of girl that you want. Is it party girls? Is it models? Is it actresses? Is it girls in real estate? Identify like, what are your hobbies? Do you like hiking? Do you like biking? Whatever that is. And then the next thing is what? You need to find where those people congregate. People that love to hike are going to go what? Be hiking. So go to hikes and then cold approach while you're hiking. Go look for hiking groups. Go to Facebook groups. Go to Instagram groups. Go to like Discord groups and look for people that are into hiking. And then what are you going to do? Hey, I happen to run this hiking event that we happen to do every week. It's a consistent thing. We thought it'd be something you'd be interested in. You're going to have to like DM a lot of people, but the ones who say yes, they're much more likely to end up showing up. Set your first event usually a month out. And then just go out all the time to the things you're already passionate about, and then just find people that are interested in it. Cold approach, DM, use online systems, and organize something that you're going to do once a week consistently, and build your first one just a month out, so that gives you plenty of time to get plenty of people to it. Get a few friends that are also into hiking. Find a few guys that will help to organize it with you, because you're going to usually need a couple organizers to make this work. You're gonna need some people because you're gonna need someone to like organize all the group members. You need people to like bring other group members in. If you can find other connectors, that makes it even easier because connectors know more people. That's how I would do that. But you first identify what it is that you want first. Then from that, go to that place and then go cold approach, go meet those people, DM those people. Then from there, set your first event like a month out. Get some other people to help you kind of organize it and bring it together, and then run your first event. Make sure people are having a good time. Don't run around cold approach trying to go like fuck some girl. Just be the guy who's like, hey, do you need anything? Are you good? Are you good with drinks? I did that literally a shoot that we just did. Funny enough, I'm getting hit on by all the girls, and I'm not doing anything besides being like, is the media dumped yet? Hey, do you girls need anything? You guys need water? Do you need to like do an outfit change? Did you guys find the photographer you need to be shooting with? Are you guys good? Did you get all your photos? What's your social media? So that way I can send you the photos once they're edited. I'm just being the host. I'm just bossing everyone around. That's all I'm doing. I'm not hitting on any girl, but every girl clearly can tell that I'm the leader in that situation. Why? Because I'm bossing everyone around, telling everyone else what to do. What do we talk about? There were studies that were shown in the leadership that when women saw saw a male bossing other males around, that they were attracted to that. But they also were attracted to a guy who was taking the wants and needs of the group and making them more important than his own. And he was leading them that way. They also thought was attractive too. I'm being a leader. I'm organizing something, which gives me what? Social proof and pre-selection, which makes it what? Other girls want to be around me. Because if I'm seen with girls following me around the party, I must be somebody. Let's see, what's the next one? Different openers for engaging groups and engaging in different in new social circle. Okay, so there's 4 types of openers that I tend to like use across the board. So it's a functional opener, situational opener, or a compliment. So the compliment usually is my favorite by default. And usually what I do is I give a compliment on something that someone has worked hard on. So if this is a girl, I'm like, hey, I love the way you match like those the bangles with that Star Spangled dress. It's like a really good look. I just figured I would let you know. Keep it up. Or hey, I had to comment. Like, I love the fact that you like have like a really positive face. It's like you're like in a really good mood. It's very rare to find that, because especially in a city like this, everyone's a fucking dick and tries to pretend to be something they're not. So it's super cool that you don't care about what anyone else thinks. I figured I'd at least let you know. Done. Just give a compliment on something that people have worked hard on. For women, hair, makeup, nails, fashion, they work really fucking well. The second one is a functional opener. Do you happen to have the time? Do you know what time this place gets good? What's the name of the drink you're having? I get the same thing all the time. I want to try something different. Hey, do you know where the nearest Starbucks is? Functional. I need them to solve a problem for me. And then justify why you're asking. I'm asking because I'm late for a meeting. I'm asking because I really am craving a coffee right now, and I'm kind of late. Hey, I'm meeting a few friends here, and I don't know what time this place gets good, and we want to know if we need to go somewhere else. Hey, I get the same thing all the time. I want to try something different. Justify it. It's funny. I'm getting text messages from someone I'm seeing, and they're giving me a 6 Spotify playlist, and I'm just like, I love her when she sends me that, because that helps me work a lot.
Bro, can we do last 2? Is that cool?
Yeah, the last 2 for sure.
Yeah.
Perfect. How to approach a group of girls that are solo. I already did that. Same way I would before. What works and what doesn't. Oh, and I said the last one was situational. The situational is obvious. There's a situation going on. Why is everyone wearing white? Hey, I clearly missed something. What's this whole sash thing that's going on? That situations, those are easy ones. What works and what doesn't for social circle. Okay, so here's the thing. What works? Find the girls that you want to talk to and dress like the guys that she's dating. That's an easy one. Number 2, make friends with that guy. Be seen with cool, trendy people. Number 2. Number 3, post on your social media pretty consistently and have a very interesting life. 4, start organizing something. Start organizing an event, whether you do it once a month and then maybe have like a smaller weekly thing. And then, the easy way, use St. Patrick's Day, Christmas, Halloween, Valentine's Day, organize something. Valentine's is a great day to invite girls out. You know why? Because all girls are single and they're feeling really insecure about themselves. Do you know that my favorite Valentine's Day is to invite like 5 to 15 girls and take them out because I know they're single, and then take them to dinner and like buy them roses. People are like, why are you doing that? I'm like, because I'm the nigga with like 5. I had this Valentine's Day and all the girls I took, they were like, you're the smartest dude here. I'm like, why? They were like, because you're the only one that's with 5 Valentine's Day dates and like everyone's staring at you. Because we walked into the theater, I took them to go see 50 Shades of Grey and then took them to dinner.
You paid for everything?
No. They all paid for their own shit.
Oh, okay. Nice.
Like, guess, and this is why I love the friend zone. If I'm in the friend zone, do friends have to pay for dinner, or do you split the bill?
No. Yeah, split.
Okay. There's no value discrepancies. Why? We're just friends. See, so like all of that. Can I over text a friend? No. Can I look needy around a friend? I mean, unless I'm just like, you're hanging with someone else instead of hanging with me. Not really. That's why I love the friend zone. People misunderstand it, but I love it because the frame control perspective. That feminist shit goes out the fucking way. We're just friends. You're the homie.
Oh man.
Yeah.
That's something we need to we'll leave it on that, because that needs to be a part 2. I was literally gonna ask you about that. I know you touched on it. You touched on the friend zone in terms of, keeping women around and, keeping the leads, but we didn't go into it. So I'm a bit upset about that, but that's more of an incentive for us to do a part 2. Man, I'm going to have to watch this back. I'm not going to lie. You dropped so much. So much. I'm going to watch this back. But thank you so much for jumping on. So much value to the group. Obviously going to put this on YouTube. Share with everyone how they can get in touch with you if they want to, implement this into their life, everything you've been talking about.
I mean, you got me in the advanced social systems group. I'm actually, you can reach out to me in the Jim Jackson community because I'm in there. Like I'm in like all these different groups. My social media is at J MacDaniel Conto. The name that's actually on the screen is literally how you're going to be able to find me on all of my social media platforms, whether that's Twitch or Instagram or Snapchat. You can easily just go ahead and do a search and you can find me literally just underneath that. That's how you can find me there.
Amazing, guys. Well, it's been a pleasure having you on, Jay. Hope you enjoyed this as well, fellas. And yeah, we'll catch you on the next one. Yeah, take care.
Sounds good. Better, guys.